It's people that's counting on me. I cannot eat from the tree. I'm Adam to Z. Z is my Eve. Watch how we getting it. Watch how we flipping it. Watch how we living it. Watch how we winning it. Watch, yeah. Watch, yeah. Watch, yeah. Watch.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Forever Love Podcast. My name is Artis.
And I'm Zadoria.
And we are the Andersons.
And he's Dre.
And this is Tati.
And we're the Badies.
Yeah, listen, man. It's Thursday.
We come over.
And listen, y'all, I got something to tell y'all.
Oh, Lord. What you got to tell us?
She didn't even know.
You ain't eat.
No, you didn't know this. You didn't know this either. I want the first time I tell this, I wanted it to be right now.
Here we go. I knew it. I knew something.
So
was
this
coming
morning,
on. What happened this morning? Hold on.
So every morning I take a dump, right?
Yes.
And you know how sometimes you flush the toilet, right?
Where is this going?
And
This
you
how we
flush the
start.
toilet, and it's like it flushes, but the water don't really go all the way down per se, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, so everything flushed, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, why isn't the water going down? So I said, you know what? It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be fine. And so
You done flooded the
no,
toilet?
but wait a minute. Everything flushed, but the water still rose, right? You know, so I think maybe I put too much toilet paper in it, but it still flushed.
Maybe.
Right?
You always put too much toilet paper in it. Just let people know. Just let them know.
But you know, so you know, I went on about my day, right? Because it looked like everything was fine. So later in the day, for many people who don't know, I take, you know, a couple dumps in the day. You know, I got a good system, you know.
Yeah.
And so I go in the bathroom to take a dump. And in this one, you know, it was like I felt like I was delivering a baby. I was like,
Really?
yeah,
Really?
right.
Wow.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. Like it was just
Interesting.
like that joint. I was like, yeah, it's a good one right here. I was pushing, you know, right?
This morning, like I said.
No. That one this morning. This is the evening poop I'm talking about.
No, I'm saying this morning you took a little one.
Yeah.
like a short
It was
one.
quick. It was quick. You know what I mean?
Quick.
And so back to the story, right? So I'm like, man, that felt good. So I'm on my phone, and you know, you do a courtesy flush, right? So I did the courtesy flush, and then I remembered, wait a minute, is it gonna flush?
Oh.
And then before you know it, you felt the water on your butt.
You got a
I was
love
like,
tap.
oh!
You got a love tap.
I'm like, oh! I said, oh!
You got me. You got me.
Help me. I said, oh. So I got to get up and you know, pants down on brain. You ain't got to walk to the other bathroom to finish. And I'm saying, I'm like, I can't believe that just happened to me. So, you know, I finish up in the other bathroom. Then I come to the other bathroom. I'm like,
So you don't put your wet butt on both
No.
toilets. I gotta clean
let
it
me
out.
finish. Let me finish. So then I'm sitting and I'm like, all right, I got to clean this up now. So luckily,
Did you use like the towel?
let me finish. luckily, it didn't flow over.
Okay.
Right, the water didn't flow over. You know, it just grazed the buttocks. Right, it just grazed the buttocks. Right, and so I'm like, and so you know, I look in the toilet. I'm like, man, I got a plunger with poop in it. And so I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And so, you know, I'm thinking and I'm contemplating. Would you let me finish? Okay, I'm debriefing and I'm letting you know what happened. Okay, so boom, I say, you know what? I'm gonna just have to clean the plunger. So I started plunging, you know, with the poop in the toilet and everything, and then boom, it flushed. Everything went through. Cool. Then I was like, well, I can't just take the plunge out of the toilet because it got poop on it. So I flushed it a couple of times, and you know, you do the thing, you just circle it around into the commode, right? Let the poop wash off. And then I was like, Well, now I got to make sure ain't no poop inside the plunger part, but I got to turn it upside down. But it's still kind of wet and dripping. So I'm like, how am I gonna do this without getting, the water, all on the toilet and everything? So I said, you know what? I'm gonna take some of that. What you call the Lysol cleaner joints?
Yes.
So I took the Lysol cleaner joint, put about 10 of them joints.
I knew it.
Made it into a little wipe, right? And I started wiping around the plunger inside, boom, boom, right? And then I said, all right, I got to make sure it's really clean. So then I took the bathtub and I turned the bathtub water and I started rinsing it on under the bathroom, the bathtub water, right? But I was doing it too hard. Then it flickered back on me, and I'm like, now I got to take a shower.
That's the man that want to give. That's the man that needs to give up on life. You are getting attacked.
I'm
versus Marlon.
I got poop water on me, so now I got the shower, wash up. I'm like, man, this is not the day. We going out of town. We gotta do the podcast. I gotta teach, man, all sorts of stuff going on. So I finally, clean off the plunger, and then I'm like, I let it dry off. Then I took the plunger back, washed off, and then had to come back and wash and clean the toilet because you had water on the toilet, and I want to make sure it's a little clean. And so yeah, that was an eventful evening.
Z, you would have never known.
I would have never known.
Yeah, that's a major part of that man's day.
That was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Event after event.
You lost.
Hey,
I'm gonna just tell you, you lost. You lost to the toilet in every way. Toilet, and then you brought the plunger in as backup. He tagged you it in, but you lost.
Yeah.
You lost. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And y'all out of Clorox wipes.
It was better those than my towels because he's famous for putting my
I did not use your towels this time.
Somebody else do that too.
The towels, what they're supposed to use for?
The good towels, the thick ones that absorb the water.
You have a specific towel.
Listen,
I'm with Tatiana on this.
Sometimes when stuff happens, you just grab the nearest thing, and if that's the nearest thing,
yes, you grab the nearest thing.
They're towels.
And you wash them.
That you put on your body.
Yes, because when you put them on your body when they clean. So how was y'all day?
Was not as eventful as yours. I'm gonna just say that. You won that for the day. You won the adventure of the day. Who's got the best day?
Oh man,
you get the gold star today, or the red star.
You got that, or the brown star, whatever you want to. Whatever color you're choosing today.
The green star.
You get a big star. Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Yeah, man. Eventful day.
Well, then the show's over. Thank you for getting the attraction and people are in on this. That's it. That is the topic for today. Is how to handle a fight.
Hey, but you survived.
Yeah, you're a survivor.
I survived.
That's the big.
Oh man.
I can't take.
So let's jump into this conversation, man. How was y'all day go? Well, how y'all doing? I'm an artist. I'm a relationship marriage consultant.
I'm Zadoria. I am the wife of a relationship consultant.
And
a mentor for teen girls. Oh,
you don't know what to do now.
First lady.
No. Oh my gosh.
She don't even know her titles no more.
Exactly.
She's discombobulated right now.
What is my title?
Retreat girls.
Oh, of Retreat Girls.
Okay. Okay.
Ladies first.
Oh. I'm Tatiana. I am the president of National Action Network, a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I should
have went first.
I am the momager of Chili Barker's food truck. I am the VP for Miss Corporate America Nevada pageant, and I am all around youth related and support services for our youth.
I'm Dre. I am behind the scenes of all of that,
And
and a photographer,
thank you.
and a dad, and a husband.
All the
Yeah, let's not
above.
forget those. Let's not forget those titles. Those are very important. Because without you, I'll probably be out here making some crazy decisions.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. That's a good topic right there.
For sure. Because I was telling him, I was like, when I was single, I just had one track mind and I didn't leave it open for anybody else. So whatever I decided and wanted to do, that's what it was. But I don't think it was the best decisions I was making when I look back. Even as simple as stuff that I was posting. I looked at thirsty. Yeah, I just
That's true.
so
Yeah.
he said, yeah, a lot of thirst
A lot of
traps.
thirst traps.
Oh.
So now he'd be like, think, put your phone down, don't say nothing, don't respond so fast. I'm like, oh, that's what would help me get out of. That's what helped me get out of a lot of trouble if I just think before I speak, even as an adult.
Yeah.
That kind of segues into what we're talking about tonight.
I was about to get your mental together before you destroy some things.
Yeah.
You
know, it's June, so this is Men's Mental Health Month, and so today we're talking about men's mental health, and we're talking about whether or not women actually care about men. I want to play a few clips. I'm gonna play this first one. So let me play.
Let me touch you.
All right. I think this. I don't know.
You felt that, Z, huh? You felt that? You felt that one?
But you ain't never finna hear me say I don't need a man, because I do. And I don't just need a man for physicality, whether it be bills, fixing things. That's not the bulk of what I need a man
This is the
for.
same
I
guy that
understand
interviewed
the
that lady
role
and
of
her
a man.
wig fell off in the middle of
And
her
it's
interview and she
sexy.
went viral.
A
What is
real man?
Go ahead, unpack that.
I
What's the
remember that
role?
couch
What's the
that
role
she
of a
was
man?
She was giving some good jewels and then her wig
Ooh,
just said,
first of all, it's leadership.
oh,
And when a
my
man when he has the fruit of leadership successfully over his
can't hear
whole
it.
life, do you know how attractive that is? Even if he is a man that's not available to you, even if he's a man.
Oh, y'all can't hear it?
you can't hear nothing.
Oh, okay. Let me bring it back out. We'll try this again.
We was like, is it loading?
Oh, let me see.
But you ain't never finna hear me say I don't need a man, because I do. And I don't just need a man for physicality, whether it be bills, fixing things. That's not the bulk of what I need a man for. I understand the role of a man. And it's sexy. A real man?
Go ahead, unpack that. What's the role of a man?
Ooh, first of all, it's leadership. And when a man when he has the fruit of leadership successfully over his whole life, do you know how attractive that is? Even if he is a man that's not available to you, even if he's a man that is not compatible for you, to watch a man lead his life well, baby, that's encouraging. It's sexy. It's honorable. I love to see it. And there is something about watching a man who has allowed God to grow his confidence and grow the fruit of his life. And you can see him thinking. And if he don't know what to think, baby, for that man to take that thing in the word and in prayer, whoa! Child.
Oh man.
She was very adamant.
She was very adamant.
Okay.
She was very adamant. Now I want to play this second clip because I want to give y'all another I want us to give us another point of reference.
Need men.
Do women need men? No, we don't need y'all.
I do. I need my man. Baby, I need my man.
Okay. Why don't you need men?
What do I need a man for? To do what?
Everything.
Okay, why do you need a man?
Stuff. Because we was created to be soft and nurturing. We ain't created to be working hard. We need a man. I need a man. I need my man.
I mean, I got a man, but I don't feel like I need him. But I like him around.
More
I feel
than
like
men.
men need women more than we need them. Y'all can't do shit yourself.
Hope her man wasn't watching that.
What? Right.
Hope her man don't see this.
What is going on?
So what are y'all thoughts about either
First of
video?
all, yeah.
I got a third one I'm gonna play later.
I
But
don't
what do you-
want
what
to
do
be
y'all
by
thought?
myself.
There's a difference, obvious difference.
For sure.
That older woman versus that young girl
She been a hero.
been through life. You ain't experienced life yet, so yeah, there's an obvious difference right there.
Yeah.
I mean, true. That's in my 20, when I was between 25, 23, 25, I'm like, I don't need a man. I can pay for my own flights. I can do this. My bills are good. So yeah, I was like, I didn't need a man. And a man told me, when you hit 28, all that you thought you knew was going to be gone. And that's when I met him at 28. But I was like, okay, Marcus, yes, we do need each other. But yeah, no, the young mindset is a real thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a real thing, and it's like we say, young and dumb. I do think that's she's not experienced life to understand what the older lady was saying, because I'm guaranteed if that older lady was sitting in that conversation, she would have preached circles around her explaining why. But then again, she wouldn't have listened to it because her mind is here.
Yeah.
But I'm 100% sure that it can be done without a man. But I'm also 100% sure that it's a lot easier with a man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would definitely say, well, is your daddy in your life? For number one, does it sound like your father's in your life? Number two, you don't need a man because maybe you're hurt. Number three, or been hurt. Number three, you may think that you can do things, and I mean do it, but it ain't. You probably never been protected before. And I think that's the part that women don't realize. At that age, if you again lack those things in your childhood, then you looking at a man, you're like, oh no, I don't really need it. I've been doing it by myself without him. So, and that's the mentality.
Yeah. This conversation, there's a few things I kind of want to highlight, right? I think in culture, negativity is always going to be louder. That's just what the dynamics of the world is, right? And there are a lot of women who feel like they don't need men, obviously. And then there's a lot of women who do believe they need men. So we know that there's women on both ends of the spectrum. I think the part about this conversation for me, where I kind of want to open it up, is this. I don't think women are taught why they need a man as much as men are taught why they need a woman. And so for most women, they're taught you need a man to provide. That's pretty much the, but for men, we're kind of taught that you need a woman to kind of, make the house a home, take care of the children, keep the house up, whether it's decorating, decor, like so many different nuances. Like men are kind of over the years have been trained to understand, like, you need a woman for da 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 da, right? Well, I think for men, for women, it seems the negative experiences that women experience tend to overshadow the reality of why they need men. And so imagine, right, you being abused by a man or impacted by a man negatively, right? That's going to skew your view of men. Same thing with women, but I'm just dealing with one side of it for right now. It's like when you talk to women, specific women, it's like they really cannot rationally come to the conclusion of why they need a man. Like it doesn't even compute. until you start explaining, well, who built your houses? Who built your roads? Like when you really start laying out all of the thankless jobs that men contribute to our world, it's I think the question tends to only cause women to think about how a man benefits them specifically in a relationship only. And my wife brought up a good point. You brought up a good point, Z, about not having a father. I remember there was this podcast I was watching. I forgot the name. I wish I remember his name. But he had asked the young lady, you know, how has your father contributed to your life? And she was like, I can't think of nothing.
Mm.
He was like, wait a minute, so you had your father in your life? She was like, yeah. She was like, well, I can't think of no way he contributed to my life. But it was, my mom is the, you know, that boom, boom. And so he said, so if you ever was in trouble, could you call your father? She was like, yeah. If you ever needed anything, could you call your father? She was like, yeah. Like, he was like, so just alone, you went through life with the mental peace of mind, knowing that you had a protector your whole life.
Mm.
And she saw no value in it prior to him bringing it to her attention. So what I'm kind of alluding to is there seems to be this absent-minded reality for a lot of women of the need of men. And I wanted to get y'all perspective on that.
I think. Oh, well, I know you didn't go. I think that. So, I think that like Z said, and bringing up that drop it to another side of everything. Like the girl to say her dad was in her life and not to see it. I think part of that takes heed on the mom. Because if the mom and dad were there, and I don't know the dynamic if they were together or not, but there's a way that you can let your child know, because they grew up from some way there was a disconnect somewhere, some way. So I always tell people, like an example for me, my parents divorced when I was 2, but my mom never spoke ill of my dad. So whatever they had transpired that got them to the divorce, because I had questions probably all the way up until I had my first kid at 16. And I was like, well, why y'all get a divorce? Nothing makes sense. Like, you don't never say nothing bad about my dad. He's this amazing guy to me. So I'm like, I don't understand. And she's just like, you know, she never spoke ill about my dad. And I got older, then, you know, explained everything when I got older. But I think even as a mom, there's a point where you have to set a standard for your kids and their mindset. My mom, even if her and my dad had ever got into a disagreement, she's like, oh, your dad's coming to get you in a minute. She probably was fuming or whatever happened. But I think as the mom, if she didn't set her daughter up the right way mentally, then the daughter, and she like, I got you. You can call your dad whatever you need, some money. So now she only knows her dad as the guy who got money and will come when he's quote unquote called, but not those people that they might have seen over time. Like, and sometimes people see other families and think, oh, well, that's what I wanted, and not really knowing what's happening behind the scenes. So I do think personally, as a mom, there should have been a point for her to kind of train her daughter's mind instead of involving her daughter if on a negative side. But then, like you said, until the guy brought it up, he might have only known to be a provider in his sense. So it's kind of a two-way fold. The dad probably only knew, hey, I'll just be a provider there. And the mom left him in that lane. Or the mom could have been like, hey, your dad is a great provider. He did great. Me and him didn't work out. But for you, he's amazing. And always calling your dad whenever there's nothing. So I do think there can be multiple things that could have transpired for the young lady to not see it, because you need an adult to help groom the child. So at some point, there was not somebody to groom her properly to understand what her dad is doing is great. And not a lot of people have that to call him still, and he is her protector. That's just mine.
I have a slightly different perspective. So I think the young lady, she just shows an example of like society when it comes to men, right? So a lot of people don't. She never really realized how impactful her dad was because she just thought he wasn't impactful. She didn't realize that her dad just solely being in her life is a big factor. The dad, I'm assuming, was married to the mom, so that way the dad is showing an example of your child what to do. So you got a strong marriage or whatever you got going on, and just leadership within the house. She probably never paid attention to that. Never paid attention to the fact that she's not wanting for anything. She probably didn't realize what Dad's going through, like all kind of stuff. Like it's a lot that you can unpack right there. But I just feel like that just shows what society thinks about men. Like nobody really hears what men have to say or what men go through or what anything. Nobody cares. Whatever I see is, all right, good dad, good job, and that's it. So
Yeah. You know, you about to say something?
Maybe her dad didn't talk like yours.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, maybe,
Maybe.
you know, but I think, but you know what? Thinking about my dad, right? For anybody who don't know, my dad wasn't a talker, to say the least, and we probably had maybe 1 or 2 conversations my whole life. And he was in my life my whole life, up till he died when I was like 21, 22, something like that. So we've had maybe 1 or 2 conversations that was like maybe 2 minutes or less. So, my dad was just a quiet guy. He just didn't talk. But it makes me think, right? I wonder if for a lot of women, not all women, but for a lot of women, because how can I word this? When you have conversations with a lot of women, there's always an overemphasis of how much she does versus him. Especially in the marriage dynamic, it's either, well, all you do is go to work, but I go to work, I take care of the kids, I do this, this. So they will count their things as 7 or 8 things that they do.
Women? You're talking about the women.
Talking about well, you're right. So when women communicate this, they communicate it from a perspective of, we do more than men. And then when you ask them what they mean, they name like things individually. Like they don't just say the house, they say the kids, the dishes, the laundry, the cleaning, right? And when they add it up, it's like 10 things. Well, with the guy, they don't add up the individual things. They just say, well, you go to work. And it's like, well, I'm pretty sure he does more than that, but it doesn't register to them the impact, the other things he does. So I think part of the challenge is, right, in our culture is, when we look at women and mothers, we see specifically what they're doing, women do, and they can relate and they can identify. But I don't think men are as vocal or as boisterous about all the things they do. So automatically it's just going to be like, well, what do y'all do? Right? So for example, when everybody sleep and you up locking the doors or, taking a walk around the house or, making sure certain things are straight, or the things that he never talks about, whether it's around the house or, the cars, the money, insurance, like, I think what happens is culturally we tend to only hyper focus. Well, a lot of women only hyper focus on all that they see that women do, and then the women come together and talk about it, which magnifies the experience. So it's like, oh, you feel what I feel. Oh, you too. So it's like, well, I know 50 women. Well, we doing all the work, but we haven't really talked to the other 50 men. Right, to get the other side of the story. So that narrative gets ran with in culture and is being spilled over into our podcast spaces, our YouTube spaces, our social media spaces. And so the value of men just tend to decrease and decrease and decrease and decrease in public opinion. So that's kind of how I would frame it,
We'll get you a good woman that listens. Just kidding. As easy as that might sound, some of these women are actually not helping with the mental health of these men sometimes because they are so involved in self that they are not listening. And so then the man, like you said, will shut down and be quiet because we're already like, he's fine. He's the man. He can feel a little pain. He's stronger than I am. When actually they're just human beings.
Yeah.
They do get hurt. They do cry. They may not cry out loud, but they do things hurt their feelings, and you have to be understanding from both sides.
Yep.
I knew that. I knew something was going on in the background.
You gotta be understanding on both sides, okay?
Yeah, yeah. We're parents. We're good parents. We're rolling with it. We are professional. We are professional. All right.
You trying to stay and see? Get closer to the mic.
Right. Block everything.
Right.
Get louder.
That's just the lovely children, ladies and gentlemen of the audience.
Those are the feature characters on this.
Yes. Yes.
I don't even remember what I'm saying, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I guess what role, good or bad, has men played in y'all's life? Just overall, fathers, uncles, brothers, friends, like.
I would say, the only role that I can really think of is my dad, and like similar to you, Tatiana. My mom and dad got divorced, or they were separated for when I was young. But the one thing till this day, like today, my mom still does not bash my dad. Mind you, I done told y'all like I got siblings that I like that are younger than my younger sister, and siblings that are older than me that I'm finding out about. And not once have my mom ever out her mouth say anything negative about my dad. She'd allowed us to be able to have our own opinion of how we see it. And that, to me, it gave me a hope. I mean, it gave me awareness to who he was, but at the end of the day, he was who he was, so I got to see it for myself as an adult. And still as an adult, I get to see the God side, where I say that, like, when my sister was finding out about all the siblings and all these people just popping out, and for me, I was like, listen, this man was in a hard position. Like, I looked at what he was going through mentally, physically, like being the older brother, of 9 kids, like, lived in the hood, so that alone is like, that tells you that he already had something on his shoulders. He had people looking after him. He had to make sure that his like he took care of it. He was another parent to his siblings while his parents was going out working. Like, they looked up to him. So there was a pressure that he put on himself. So what better way for him to say, I gotta go hustle. I gotta go make this money. I gotta make sure we good. I gotta make sure my family good. And that was always his mentality. Like, since I knew, like, he always made sure his family was good, including the kids that the moms didn't let him see, or the kid, like, same story. Everyone said the same story. He tried to be in their lives, but someone didn't want to wouldn't let him be around because of probably his lifestyle and what he did and whatever the case may be. But for me, like, that character showed a lot, that I've learned that you just have to appreciate, like, you have to appreciate what people do versus what they say, or how you may, or also you could take what they say with a grain of salt, of course. But it just showed me a lot about how a man can provide, and he can still have flaws, but knows how to show up when he needs to show up. So
We're back. We had our feature characters come
no worries.
You good.
No, I agree with you. The environment does play a role in the mindset that a man does have to further the future. No, that's not an excuse, because there are people that have an environment and they want to change that environment mindset. But I think back in the days, it was literally like men knew a one way kind of way of doing things. And over transitioning of years, then they were like some of the generations like you and Art, you guys, yeah, in the generation of wanting to change the mindset of how you raise your family, how you communicate, how you do things with your wives, and how do you handle the fact of your mental health that can diminish being a great husband. If nothing else, then you don't want that. You've seen it. You're like, okay, let's want different. But I do think that I know for the earlier generation, it was a kind of one track mind for the mindset. Like if you hear a lot of older people, they're like, go to college, get a good job, and work for the state, the county, and never leave and get those benefits. And then you have another generation comes out like, I think I can make more money if I become an entrepreneur, and if I'm gonna learn. I'm okay with taking a few fails and doing it this way, or using that corporate job to become an entrepreneur, because you don't want to stay in the path of working for somebody. So I do think that you just have to decide what lane you want to be in, or how you want to portray who you are, and not let your past or what was given, your environment, your past, the way people around you to be different, and how you want to be a good husband, a good partner, good father, and things of that nature. And of course, I think all of us can take something from our parents, like, you know, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do it this way. I like that, but I don't like this. Like when we got together, I already was in the mindset of, I want to be a great wife, because I prayed not just to be, for him to be a good husband, but I'm like, I need to make sure I can maintain being a good wife. Like we always there in church, they sometimes remember like, oh, you going to pray for a good husband. Yeah, you can. But then what about you? Are you going to be ready for what God is you asked for? Because all the time we ask for something and we're not ready for it. So I was like, I know God, you're going to give me what I need, but I need to make sure that I'm a good wife. So when he came in, and I was just like, knowing he don't eat meat, and I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? How am I cook? Because baby, I love me some fried food and steak and lobsters. And so I'm like, okay, everything I did. And then of course I was in the mindset, I ain't cooking no separate meals for my kids, my husband, whatever I eat, because we grew up, everything that's on your plate, you got to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've gotten over, oh, I cannot eat that. My grandma used to force me to eat that. I don't want to eat that. So I was like, well, because I knew, and that's what I was told, everything that's on the table is what you got to eat. And everything that I make as a wife, you got to eat. And I said, I'm not making separate plates. Well, then we got together, and I'm like, oh, just happily cooking with 2 separate pots. And I got meat over here and no meat over here, and separate spoons, and this, that, and the other. He was good about it, but he got a little frustrated because I used to make his plate. And he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm making your plate. Sit down, eat. Let's have family dinner. And he was like, first of all, he was confused and not understanding like why. I can make my own food. I'm a grown man. And I'm like, why are you so upset about that? And he was like, and then he stood up to eat. He would not sit at the table. Dre stands up to eat. And I'm like, hey, sit down. We're doing family time. And he's like,
Still growing.
he was like, no, because if you sit down and it makes you lazy. And I said, I'm cool, but can you eat? We're eating together. Like, this is what, and I'm like, this is all I knew was we, at my mom's house and my dad's house, was not one thing that we did do, whether they were being separated, we all ate dinner together. But this man don't want to sit down and eat, and he don't want me to make his plate. And I'm just like, who raised you? And he always says, it depends on the year. I'm like, but I was like, oh my God, something is off. But because I at first I was like, no, this is what we're going to do. And this is how my life, and I knew about this, but I stood back and I listened to him, and he's like, I'm not a kid and I don't want this, that, and the other. So, and he called his mom on me. You did. Remember you called your mom? He's like, she keep making my plate. And she's like, what if he don't want to eat? If he don't want you to make his plate? And I was just like, well, he in my house, so he gonna get this plate. But I stood back and I listened to him, and I was like, it's not that I think you're a kid or anything. This is just what I grew up on. He's like, well, I grew up not doing that. So I'm like, how do we come to a compromise and understanding that we're both being heard? Because I'm like, you're not about to stop what I knew, and I'm not gonna stop what you knew. So some days I still will make his plate, but he was like, okay, that's her. And then some days I would completely do my meal and back up out the kitchen so he can cook whatever he wants and make his own plate. So it did take a while. Compromising was big, and just listening to each other, because if you don't, then you just constantly like, it's my way or the highway, and that's not gonna get you anywhere or even help a man because he was already struggling with enough going on in his life to be upset about a plate and some food. Why drag more onto him? What you gonna say?
No.
Oh, okay. Just making sure we don't drag more onto our guys. So there's simple things. You be like, girl, you could have stopped yelling at him about that. It was very simple. But sometimes
Yeah.
you have to get in the last word. And like, you actually are making things worse when you can just be quiet.
Yeah.
Be quiet. It's okay to be quiet sometimes. And God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
Double the listen, less talking.
That part.
Yeah. You know, I think what's shout out to Marcus. Marcus, what's up, man? He said we need each other.
Hey,
Yes,
Marcus.
we do. You know, I think what I find a lot of times is so many women lack empathy towards men, right? You know, and empathy is, in a nutshell, just having the ability to understand that men feel, or that men have challenges, men go through things. And I think that lack of empathy really is detrimental to the mental health of men, especially in relationships or in marriages, because now, granted, it's 2026. I do think us as men, we have to come out of, we had our moment, we had our season. All right. Ain't no spaces for us men. We ain't got no outlets. We got outlets now. All right. We got outlets now. I think we need to come out the season of we ain't got. Okay. We got now. We got. You just got to find it. You know what I mean? You just got to be willing, because a lot of people, men and women, will say they ain't got nothing, but really you isolated and you don't want to be around nobody and you like being a victim. So let's just call a spade a spade. But that's a whole nother conversation. But
that ain't for today.
but so many women lack empathy towards their husband or their boyfriend, and it erodes the relationship like tremendously. When you just thinking about men's mental health, right? There's a video going around, a few of them, where women are mocking men's mental health, right? Now, mind you, it's always going to be a few people that's just negative, right? But keep in mind, women don't get canceled for nothing they say about men. But we know if men had done this same thing during Women's Month, oh man, it would have been all over the 6 o'clock news of social media, right? But basically, they're making videos mocking Men's Mental Health Month, talking about, well, why do they need mental? They're the ones who are the killers and the murderers and the abusers, and they're committing all the crimes, and they're the ones we're afraid of. So there's all these different types of narratives going around. But there's a video I want to play in a second. But for men, so Dre, for you specifically, right? And I'll chime in too. Like, are men really as bad as society trying to make it out to be, in your opinion, as a man, like from a male perspective? And I want to get y'all's perspective too, ladies.
No. So let's say no. My answer is no, right? Because when I look at a man and a little boy, it's two different things, right?
Okay.
A man's gonna take care of his business. He's gonna do what he's supposed to do. He's gonna make sure his family's straight. He's gonna go out. He's gonna provide. He's gonna bring back the bacon or whatever you want to call it, or the vegetarian meat, whatever you want to call it. But that little boy, that little boy, that's who you see out doing all the bad stuff. That's who you see breaking in cars and the YNs, right? That's the little boy. But that's who society takes and they say, oh, this is the man. No, this is the man over here. The man that works and goes to job, that dude that work in the warehouse, or the man, the bank teller, like that's the man. But society wants to paint us as we all doing bad stuff, but it's not. It's the little boys out here who probably don't have father figures. Probably mom probably wasn't even there. Those are the people that society chooses to say, oh, this is what men are. That's not what we are.
Yeah.
My 2 cents.
Ladies, what is, like, your perspective? Are men as bad as culture's portraying it to be?
They're worse. No, they're not. But it depends on the type of man. It depends on the type of man. But like you were saying, it's saying men are killers and this, women kill too. That's why they got to jail, because women done did some stuff probably worse than men, and probably got to jail. I say went to jail for one half of it, but did way worse. But they was able to be a little more strategic. Just like they say, do women cheat versus men? And they're like, oh, women don't cheat. No, women just a lot smarter with it. Like I said last week, they gonna cheat up, men just cheat down. So I think it depends on who the person is and what that might look like for them. Because some people think at a certain age that they are a man. And actually, you still have some growing. You got some growing to do. We laugh because our son said he felt he was a man once he started getting chin hair. And I'm like, you were not. Let's just let you know.
Mind you, he got chin hair at 16 or 15.
Oh gosh.
He said, ever since I've been growing hair, I've been a man. I'm like, a young man, but not a man. Even still, some days, I'm like, you're making goofy decisions. You're a young man and you still got growing to do. And I said, don't grow up too fast. But I do think, like I said, it depends on the man, and it also depends on the woman. If her traumas or he got traumas and they don't know how to let go, get some therapy, get some help. Everybody's just in full denial. And now I do think more people are going to therapy now, which is good, being open to talk to people. But I do think it depends on the guy, and I do think it depends on the woman. That's my take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. I think it definitely depends on the type of man. Period. That's all I got.
You know, I think that's because we've been busy all day. But I think too, right? When I hear
blanket, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's my blanket.
I'm comfortable.
When I hear, right, people, when I hear women talk about their experiences with men, the first thing first thing come to mind is validation and affirming, right? Because these are their experiences. Like, people have been great, and people have been molested, and people have been I hope I hit the word good enough for YouTube. People have been, abused and, cheated on. Like, these are real life experiences. And so, I would never like minimize that or play it down. And then when you hear the next tier of experiences where it's like, men are trash in the dating pool and this, that, and the third. And it's like, when I evaluate it personally, I'm looking at them like, all right, when you talk about, for example, these 10 to 15, 20, maybe even 30 guys, let's just say 50 guys, right? Maybe if you're like 30 some years old, you've dated 50 guys maybe, which most women would deny it, because why would you tell the truth about something like that? But because you know how culture is. It's like, you dated 50 guys, you know how it go. But let's just say you dated 50 guys on the high end, right? Not necessarily slept with them, whatever. Out of the hundreds of men who probably wanted you, you chose to entertain that 50 for a reason. There's something about those particular men that you're drawn to or attracted to, and it's like, if you have 49 negative experiences, what ends up happening is that testimony per se is shared, and that becomes the majority of the perception. When really there's about 500 other guys I can introduce you to, and you'll say no to all of them because their eyebrows are too thick. So when I think about the experiences that people have, just in relationships, I'm not really talking about right now from the fathers, uncles, and brothers, but matter of fact, I'll just encompass all of it. It's like, when we as a society, male or female, can take 20 experiences and paint that as the majority, the issue is not the experiences, it's It's the lack of exposure or awareness of all the other opportunities or available men that are out there. So when Dre mentioned what he mentioned, it's like, well, no, men and boys, there's a difference. So 9 times out of 10, your father was a boy, your uncles were boys, maybe some of your friends were boys, right? And that is your experience. And that's what people speak about. And when women collectively talk about it around the world, right? It's like, oh man, yeah, men are trash and all men that boom. But it's like there are so many people who are not talking about their good experiences because they're actually enjoying their life, enjoying their fathers, enjoying their brothers, enjoying their husbands, enjoying their boy. It's like we have to do a better job of being more aware that my skewed perspective of a thing is my little bubble. And I need to be able to open up my horizons to say there's actually great testimonies, examples, and people out here. I'm just not exposed to it, or it's not in my algorithm. You get what I'm saying? Or this is the part that really makes me mad. People don't ever like when you when you have people that you follow or people that you are you see stuff they share, right? It might be negative stuff, or it's always the clickbait or the cheating and the abuse, right? And it's like, why don't you ever share the good things you come across? Because I know you come across some good stuff. You never share the father who's taking his kid to the park. You never share the husband, who's going to work, providing, taking care of the kids, boom, boom. You never share that. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to start being balanced in your sharing. That's just my little rant for a second. You need to be balanced in your sharing. All right. That's just my little rant.
Social media.
So
Police.
when women say all men are bad, what is the bad part?
They're talking about
all the men they dated, because you ain't dated all men.
Was it you went to lunch with him, you didn't like his car, or like what was the bad part?
Well, it's a tier. So it's either women coming out talking about the majority of crimes being committed by men, such as RAPE, MOLE, you can finish the rest. Whether it's domestic violence, like all of these different things that they point to. So that's like the top tier of where they're saying like, well, these men are violent and we can't go outside and we're afraid to go, to restaurants. We're afraid to go here, which is legitimate. Like I can understand that. There's a degree of understanding to that. But I do think it's a skewed discussion. If we really opened the discussion, for every man who did this, there's 500 men who went to work and came home. So that's why the conversation is real skewed, right? Not to take away from the cases that are happening. The second tier would be Dre, like he cheated, or I found out he got 3 other women, or I found out, he was lying about this, or I checked his DMs and caught him talking to another woman, like that type of stuff. And then it's the childish tier where it's like, he's boring. He's too nice. He's more like a friend, more like a brother, So you have these 3 tiers that women kind of put men in when they talk about bad men,
And it always comes, like Tatiana said, it comes back from the experience. Like, I mean, we only know what we know. I mean, you can only speak on what you have experienced or what you have saw on the outer, on the outside. It couldn't be necessarily just you, but it could be in your parameter. Because like, for example, if someone may talk about you talk about someone that's been single all their life and they had no good men, but then they get a friend that's married and they look at and their life is just so much the opposite of them. They're like, oh, that could never be me. But it's only because they see that perspective all their life that now they're starting to say that that's impossible. That's a fairy tale. Versus my reality is this is how it's going to be, and they may say that God, this is how God wants my life to be, and it's that's it. Like, people just say that because they've been experiencing all their life that that's just a part of, who those people are. Just like when they talk about black people, like they ain't no good. Like why did we get enslaved? Why did we why were we chosen to be the people? Like why didn't they choose any other race? Or, we can go to Holocaust and you could talk about, it's just all about the mindset of how other people look at whatever that demographic or race or whatever could be. So
Yeah.
And I think it's just off of personal. Like I said, it's not all men. It's you. I always say, stop saying all men. It's the men that you've encountered. It can be the men that you have encountered, had a bad situation with, because again, you have not encountered all men, and you can't speak for my man, so don't say all men. Okay. I have to just stop you there. We gotta listen to what we say and put out there too.
But the reality is, all right, if I keep running into bees or hornets, I'm near a nest. If you get what I'm saying, like if I keep stepping in poop, I'm near a dog park. Like I think just the lack of awareness of how things actually work in life, people miss. Like
people don't even realize that they're the problem too.
Yeah.
Like, you're the common denominator in all this. The reason why these type of men or these type of people come to you is because what are you putting out there? Like what are you putting in your environment? Like where are you taking yourself in that place? Sorry.
No, you good. I have a guy I met at the gym. Known him for about a month now. 6'8", right? Lean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 6'8", lean. Yeah, yep. Your height, Dre. You know what I mean? 6'8", lean.
68
businessman. And we had a conversation the other day, right? And I was like, you plan on getting married? He was like, man, this would have to be a special woman. Because he's like, he was saying, women are just so superficial now that he runs into. And so he tries to like avoid, those types of women. So when he encounters them and gets to know them, he kind of knows, okay, I don't want to deal with her. She, because the last girl he was dealing with, he was saying, so they were talking for like a couple of weeks, and after 2 weeks, she was posting him on social media. Yeah, he's 6'8". Boom, boom, boom. And he was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you posting my height? You know what I mean? And so I think it's important for women to know that there are a lot of men who are encountering.
That's that 666 Marcus.
So a lot of men are kind of, experiencing negative experience with women too. But the same rules apply for men. It's like, where are you meeting these women? Right. So the thing is, I think for people, if you really desire marriage or a long-term relationship, you really have to look in the mirror and say, at some point, what I like is what I keep either running into or what keeps finding me or attracting or drawing to me. But you're putting yourself in some type of position to be found or encountered by that type of person. But I know that's not really the topic, but all in all, for men, a lot of men are really dealing with real life issues, real life challenges, but so many women are just blind to it. It's almost like, men, what are they going through? It's just not even it's not even on the radar of a possibility that a man could be going through something for so many women, right? I want to play this video before we wrap up.
Making fun of men's mental health month, that's nasty. But typical. Check on your father if you get a chance. He might not say it, but he's thinking about a lot right now. Check on your brother if you can. He's thinking about a lot right now. Sometimes men sacrifice their feelings to make.
All right, let me try this one more time.
Making fun of men's mental health month, that's nasty. But typical. Check on your father if you get a chance. He might not say it, but he's thinking about a lot right now.
Still nothing? You can't hear this one? All right, let me try one more time.
Making fun of men's mental health month, that's nasty. But typical. Check on your father if you get a chance. He might not say it, but he's thinking about a lot right now. Check on your brother if you can. He's thinking about a lot right now. Sometimes men sacrifice their feelings to make others happy, but they don't really let people in. So they're nonchalant. They suppress their feeling. And people just be like, go to therapy. They still won't open up. So baby girl, if you got a hubby, you got a brother, you got anybody, and they just don't really want to talk about something, just have a little conversation. Hey, is everything okay? You will be surprised what that would do for their day, or week, or a year, who knows? There's a lot of men who've gone through certain things and just ended it like that because they felt like the world was against them, when in reality, they didn't even know how to appreciate themselves and understand that they were born to carry the cross. They were born to have the strength to be able to endure because love endureth. So pray for them. Because women, we appreciate y'all, but we want to feel appreciated too. So talk to that brother, whether it's your boyfriend, your husband, family member, tell him you love him.
Tell me you love me. Just tell me you love me.
Just tell me you love me.
Just tell me you love
Can he say it? Can he get it?
That's like one of the
Right.
Can he impart your mouth to say it?
me. Right. Pat him on the back.
Sorry.
I don't like it.
I don't like that. Wrong tone.
So ladies who watch, listen. Tell your father, your brothers, your nephews, your cousins, your male friends. Check on them. All right? Have some empathy. Have some care. Have some concern. I know this is going to sound crazy, but listen, the world don't revolve just around women. Now, I can say this today because it's men's
Now
mental health
listen,
month.
James Brown said. He said this is a man's world, but it ain't nothing without a who? No, I'm just kidding.
Man, oh man.
I think maybe he set the tone wrong for some people.
Okay.
Oh, because they like women just took it, you know. Sometimes we do take stuff and run with it. You know, you had the ball to throw it 10 yards, but he's like, nah, I think I can get that whole throw if I go down there to the field goal. And he's like, girl, you can't even throw. You can't even throw the 10 yards. You talking about you aiming for there. You aiming for the stars, baby. You ain't even got an astronaut suit.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
ain't even prepared for it. Like, what's happening?
Like, you just, I don't know. I think, yes, women, we should be more open to listen to our guys. I know my husband, I probably ask him a lot. I'm like, you okay? What's wrong? He'd be like, nothing. Nothing. I'm just quiet. I'm like, okay. And he's always quiet. But yeah. And just be mindful how you do check up on people. Be sincere about it. And then listen for a response. Because if they tell you something, then listen. Because that's really how they feel. Everybody's feelings are valid. So listen.
To the women watching, don't say, hey, you okay?
And they say, yeah. He said, okay, can I borrow $100? Like, don't ask me am I okay just to ask me for something else. Be genuine. Ask me am I okay. Just
Are you okay?
No. A little crazy. Especially on
Well, when
Thursday.
you feel better, can I get $100?
Oh, matter of fact, go ahead.
Okay, so I have a question though, because this is probably like a lot of the Russell, yes,
Wrestle, yeah.
wrestle with a lot of women, because or why we may not do this, because if you may ask a man, most likely he's gonna tell you, "I'm good." How you feeling today, Marlon?
I'm always good.
Yeah. So what do you do with that?
So then I ain't gonna never ask you again if you always good.
Right.
Save
So
me 10 steps.
yeah. So what do you do with that? Because that can be, I know this is that can be a good question, because
It is.
a lot of women may say, "Oh, he said he good." He said nothing. Or it's like pulling teeth trying to ask him how his day was. Like, because as women, we gonna tell you. We gonna put it out there.
Yeah.
Eventually it's gonna come out. But for y'all, it's just like, bruh,
Yeah.
when is enough enough?
It's a great question. You want me to answer?
Yes.
All right. No, it's a legitimate question. So
To a point that we don't, because we get to a point we don't care. I mean, not care, but you just brush it off because it's like, oh, well, he'll figure it out.
yeah.
Oh, he
So
get it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you. So if women actually do have intuition, if that's a real thing, I think for women, you have to utilize it. Right? Some people call it discernment. Here's why. If you are in a relationship with somebody or married to somebody, you know that person. Like, you really do know that person. Caveat. If you're not okay, say that. Back to regular schedule programming.
But do we always have to ask though?
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at, right?
Okay.
It's to answer your question, it's more so of like, if you have intuition, if you have discernment, and you know the person you're doing life with, you kind of know when they're not okay. And because you kind of know when they're not okay, you should have action plans already prepared. Plan 1, 2, and 3. You should have a 3-pack of plans. Whether it's a plan to help them get away for a few minutes, right? Maybe go for a drive or go to the park or take a walk. Whether it's a plan to go out of town, to kind of debrief from the last month that's been hectic, or a third plan where it's like, hey, let's go talk to somebody. Like, you should have a proactive plan that they really don't know that you're going to do, because you know this person, you know something's going on, right? Even though they might not say it.
So I wanna piggyback on you, right?
Yeah.
It's also the approach of how you ask the question, right?
Don't
say, hey, are you okay? Because you most likely gonna get, oh, I'm good. You most likely gonna get that. But if it's coming and it's genuine and it's like, hey, for the past week, I noticed you've been quiet, or when this topic comes up, you don't really say very much. Or I noticed that, you've been saying your head hurts a lot, or you've been going to bed early for, like, if it's like give us some details, give us some context so we know, like, oh dang, maybe you are noticing. And then let us know, hey, let's talk. It's a safe, you in the safe space, like, let us know. Because sometimes we don't know.
Yeah.
But sometimes we feel that the question is just a generic question, like, hey, how was your day? Oh, it was good. Oh, okay, all right. And go about your business. But if you genuinely care, give us a little context so we know, like, okay, you paying attention.
And then also, let me say this. In order to notice it, you have to stop making yourself the center of everything. Like, ladies, you have to actually care about him. Not like, kind of like what Dre said, not in the sense of like that's a wraparound to where there's a connection to it for something for you. But for a lot of women, the struggle is you don't know how not to make it about you. So he is conditioned a lot of times to just say, I'm good. Because even if he's not, at some point it's going to become about you. For example, what if you ask a man?
You talking to me?
No, I'm speaking generally. What if you ask a man, hey, what's wrong? And you're the problem. And he says it. Well, my issue is you. My problem is you. You're selfish, you're egotistical, you're boring, whatever it may be.
He's a Sagittarius.
Now he's not going to actually be able to address what he's feeling or thinking or what he's going through if you then at that point make it about you and turn it into an argument instead of saying, okay, tell me more. Tell me more. I want to understand. For the average woman, it turns into well, who you think you are? Well, what do you mean? Well, you act like you perfect, and now it becomes a back and forth. So all in all, as you know, just to wrap up the answer to the question, like you have to genuinely like care, because that's going to give you the wherewithal to actually be aware, even if he says nothing, because deep down you'll know it's more than nothing. But again, fellas, you got to say something. If something's wrong, you got to say it, you know. But at the same time, ladies, just like you want him to kind of do things without you having to say it.
Okay, then smooth.
Return the favor at times. That's all. Return the favor at times. Pop, 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 pop.
That's what we're doing?
Yeah. That's a good question. All right, y'all. Y'all got any conclusions?
No, I get my conclusions.
Look how y'all both look at each other.
All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode of the Forever Love Podcast. Listen, you can follow us everywhere at Try Forever Love. And you can go to our website, tryforeverlove.com. That's TRY, the number 4, everlove.com. If you need counseling, coaching, consulting, did I say that right? Counseling, coaching, or consulting, we're here for you. What y'all got, Dre and Tatiana?
Listen to that man.
Get out there. Take the topics, use it, take the advice. And if you need some more advice, try Forever Love.
Hey, if you need a photo shoot, video shoot, make sure you hit up Shots by Dre, SHOTBYDRE. All right. Yeah. Love y'all. We out.
Love y'all.
See y'all next episode.
Peace.
Watch how we flipping it. Watch how we living it. Watch how we winning it. Watch. Yeah. Watch. Yeah. Watch. Yeah.